let me tell you about the time I stumbled into something unnatural, something that still haunts my dreams to this day. It started with me waking up on a cold, tiled floor. My head was pounding, and everything smelled like rust and damp carpet. At first, I thought maybe I'd passed out after too much partying or something. But no, this wasn't any ordinary place. I looked around and realized I was in a long, narrow hallway. The walls were painted this sickly yellow color, and the fluorescent lights above flickered erratically. The tiles underfoot were cracked and uneven, like they'd been there for decades without anyone caring. But what really caught my attention were the doors, dozens of them lining both sides of the hallway. Each door had a keyhole, but here's the thing. Every single key stuck in those locks was broken. Some keys looked melted, others snapped clean in half, and some were twisted into these grotesque shapes that didn't even look functional anymore. I reached out to turn one of the keys, just out of curiosity, but it felt wrong, like it resisted my touch. Weird, right? That should have been my first warning sign. As I walked further down the hallway, I started hearing whispers. Faint at first, barely audible over the hum of the buzzing lights. But then they got louder. Voices coming from behind the doors, pleading, screaming, muttering nonsense. One voice stood out, a kid crying for help. "Please," he said, his voice trembling, "help me." Against my better judgment, I stopped in front of the door where the voice was coming from. I tried turning the handle, but it burned my hand. Literally burned it. Then the broken key in the lock started spinning on its own, faster and faster, until it stopped with an echoing click. The door creaked open just a crack, and through the gap I saw two glowing eyes staring back at me. Before I could react, the door slammed shut again, and the whole hallway shook violently. Tiles cracked beneath my feet, revealing darkness below. And then came the laughter, low, guttural, and full of malice. I panicked. I ran. But no matter how far I went, the hallway never ended. The doors followed me, the broken keys twisting themselves deeper into their locks. It was like the hallway itself was alive, shifting and breathing around me. The walls closed in, forcing me to crawl on my hands and knees. The whispers grew deafening, overlapping voices shouting warnings, curses, and pleas for mercy. Finally, I hit a dead end. There was one last door, different from the rest. Its keyhole was empty, and the door looked newer, cleaner. I pushed against it, and it swung open easily. Beyond it was a bright light, a way out. Relief washed over me. I stepped through, thinking I was free. But I wasn't. The light faded almost instantly, and I found myself back in the same hallway. Only this time, the doors were wide open. Whatever had been trapped inside was now loose. And the keys, they were gone. That's when I realized I wasn't escaping. I was being hunted. So yeah, that's my story. Or at least part of it. I don't know how long I've been here, wandering these endless hallways. Sometimes I hear footsteps behind me, slow and deliberate. Other times I catch glimpses of shadows moving just out of sight. But the worst part, the laughter. It follows me everywhere, growing louder with each passing moment. If you made it this far, hit like and subscribe for more terrifying stories.